Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another cast. Let's go. February analysis, mid-February, and I'm happy to get back to the markets. Happy President's Day. But with that being said, let's get into this business. Very beautiful stuff we have going. I love every minute of what we're doing, and I couldn't be happier myself than being a trend follower, also obeying my process, which is a little bit, signals is not the main thing. It's really the risk management, being able to stay in the trade and staying in the trend is the other half of it, besides the right position sizing, risk management, So let's jump into this cast. Beautiful stuff. Let's get into something from Livermore before we jump into this mid-February. And I mean, we're in the right place, just where we should be. I don't know what else to say. A market does not accumulate in one grand blaze of glory, neither does it end with a sudden reversal of form. A market can and does often cease to be a bull market long before prices generally begin to break. A market does not accumulate in one grand blaze of glory, neither does it end with a sudden reversal of form. So we've been long for quite some time, enjoying quite some moves. We've been doing quite well for ourselves. Wow, we've been doing great. Okay. And I know bearish calls, this and that, the market. I know the market looks crappy, coronavirus, 100 different things that you could be listening to, news and different things that could be aiding your judgment. But you guys know us as good trend followers, as me personally, my process, I only trade off price. That's the only thing I trade from. I don't read news. Sometimes I don't even care about moving averages unless stocks start looking like they're in trouble and positions start looking a little bit strange. Then I'll start taking a closer look at moving averages, trend lines, and But other than that, if positions are working, I'm letting them work. All right, so and what I'm saying is, just like Livermore saying, is the markets aren't going to just turn around in one day and it's going to go all to hell. So if you get signals that tell you to cut position sizes, then obviously we're just following the momentum of the market. If the market tells us what the market tells us to do is cut positions here, take profits there, cut size here, and eventually we're all the way out of trades, and that's just so be it. Obviously the market is telling us. That's the thing about trend following, is you're actually following the overall movement of what a stock is doing, or what the market is doing, or what positions that you're trading are doing. You're following the movement because the signals are going to be telling you what you should and shouldn't be doing. Okay, so let's take in something else. Beautiful stuff, man. I seen about 3, 4, 5 beautiful quotes from Livermore, and I couldn't put them all up here. So, and I've got about 15, 20 stocks. I don't think we're gonna get to all those either. Remember, just like we heard last week, there's only one side of the market. There is only one side to the stock market, and it's not the bull side or the bear side, but it's the right side. Just like I said, we're going to be following trends, and they're going to tell us where we should. And if we're following the market, taking the signals we should be, then we're not. There's no question if we're in the right place or not, because we're following what the market is telling us to do. Okay, so that's it. You know, that's plain and simple. So let me find the right quote here, and then we'll get after it. All right, I seen something. Let's just take up this one. I'm kind of at this point in my trading to where I'm starting to get knee deep into some bigger profits, not smaller profits, but profits that could, start to make me help reach my goals. All right. They say you never grow poor taking profits. No, you don't, but neither do you grow rich taking a 4-point profit in a bull market where I should have made $20,000. I made $2,000. That was what conservatism did for me. So we're going for the juggler. We're pulling the trigger where we should be. We're letting positions work, and we're making a good load when we do that. I know I have 5 to 10% calculations in most of my trends, but if I'm in a good position and it starts to work well, I very well may allocate more than 10 to 20% in that position. I may give more of, what I have into that. And then as we get parabolic and as stocks start to move forward and trends start to you know, we get high enough in price, sometimes we get towards doubling price, or we get parabolic. Either or, you'll be able to tell when it's time for you to probably start cutting some of that position off in case markets do start correcting, reversing, whatever the case may be. We'll cut that position in half, maybe 70, let's say 70-30 rule. We'll cut 70% of that position off and let the rest run. Or we could cut half and half, 50-50, and let the rest run with that trend, just in case it does a pullback. But it most times uptrends pull back and then they continue past the points that they pull back. So we still want to be in that move. If a stock pulls back at we go to 25, a stock pulls back to 23, 22, and we cut half a position off, but then it continues to rally like most good uptrends do, continue to rally past that last higher high. So let's go ahead and get into, I don't know why I'm on FinViz. Let's go ahead and get into the mid-February stock analysis. Thank you guys for the beautiful stuff from Jesse Livermore. And let's get into it, man, what we're all here for. So we'll start off with the SPY, just to get an understanding of what the SPY is, what's happening there. You know what's really funny is look at this thing, and you know I'm no whiz, I'm no wizard, or whatever the case may be. But just let's just take a quick look at something, okay? Because I haven't did anything on this thing in a long time, on this trading view. But I'd like to show you guys something now that it's on my screen. And what's funny is that the first stock I have on here under the SPY is ENPH, which was the first stock I was going to get into. But I thought that we should take a look at the SPY first. But the first stock that came up on my screen was ENPH. And I remember when I first started using TradeView and doing some things here, this ENPH was something that was definitely on my little plans there. Something I had took a position in back around quite some time ago. I'm trying to get to it. Give me 1 second. All right. Oh well. I tried to get ENPH for it to show me what happened there. You know what? Sorry about that, guys. Let's just get into ENPH real fast. Just a little bit slow. I'm lagging here. I'm in a new place. Kind of upgraded my last little situation there. GE, I do like what's happening there. I like the reversal, but I mean, this stock had a lot of trouble, but price is in a clear reversal. And you guys know from trading with me, you don't never question price. If it's in a reversal, regardless of what happened, all the CEOs got fired, the stock's plummeting, all the gurus on Wall Street say, you know, stay away, and whatever the case may be, we're in a bear market, I mean, this is a perfect example. All the bad news around GE, General Electric, but yet and still the stock's in a clear reversal in price, is what I mean by, you know, you follow what price is telling you to do. You don't follow what Kramer is telling you to do, or people from the news or whatever. And especially this kind of chart with this beautiful looping thing, that's just a no-brainer. So what I wanted to show you guys was on that first thing for me in ENPH was I actually had an idea written up here on ENPH back when I first started doing some stuff on this. But you guys understand something. Let's understand something. And you can go back to the first shows that we had here. Okay, you can go back to some of the first shows that we had here. We started taking ENPH along right here. Because of the curling structure, the rounding bottom, or the J-Lo booty that it had, right? Because of the J-Lo booty it had going on here, we started taking longs on ENPH right here, and we saw the potential. My trend following processes that I use are pinpointing these kind of structures that have huge upside, and we're just using breakouts to get inside of them in trend lines. Boom. And this showed that this idea was great. We took it long here, around $2-3, $2.50, in between $2.50 and $3, okay? And we saw the potential, rolled this thing all the way up, rode it all the way up here. And don't get me wrong, I took half. I actually took like half my position out, and then it continued to crack, and I was totally stopped out. Okay, I don't give back that much profits. I don't care what kind of uptrend we're in. So prices reversed, and it took a while for me to realize what was going on. Back when this thing got over around 27 and 30, I believe, we took an entry back on it. I've got calls back in this thing back at 27, calling for this move here, man. So option calls are up, ridiculous. I've got some I took at 0.60 average cost, and that thing's at 4. So you add that up, 0.660, and now the average cost on those option calls are 4. So huge winners there, not only in my personal trading account, but in my options account. Huge win there. ENPH in beast mode, let that thing work. I'm also long SPCE. Don't tell me you guys don't remember that. Us giving you SPCE a long time ago. Remember I told you guys I took a long on it back when we started breaking above these levels, back when we broke above this level. Okay, so what caught my eye was it reversing back, and I said if we break over this, then it's on, and we did, and we continued, and we broke over this, and I started taking a full position. So fully long and SPCE. I don't know what to tell you guys, man. We're just taking these moves, taking the signals that we have to, simple breakouts, and believe it or not, guys, we're long at around $17, $20 inside this SPCE thing. Huge winner, and if you guys were on the show, you got a piece of that too. It's not no hocus pocus. It's not, plain and simple, man. Huge home run there. SPCE, man, congrats. And I've got calls in that thing, and I'm not gonna say I'm rich, but I mean my option account and other trading accounts up over 400%, over 500%. Okay, in the last week or two. TNDM, you guys remember this thing, home run, man. We hit this thing, caught this thing way back. Of course, this is what the trend line is for. This is my trend line here. This is my trend line here. And we put it back when we broke above this area here. Curled up, prices broke around 7 and 8. We took a long on TNDM, believe it or not. Yes, we did. We rode it all the way up here. Kind of cut half our position off and let the rest work. And believe me, I let at least, let's say about 10% of that TNDM position. I left as it corrected itself through this area. I knew we were in an uptrend, and we were in these get nowhere prices that Jesse Livermore talks about. Finally broke out of those, and huge home run. Huge. Remember I told you guys my process, this trend following process, allowing you to see the bigger picture. And I said, you know what, if this thing decides to curl and start retaking back some of this prices, forget being at 7, 8, 9, 10. We could easily be back up towards 100 just looking at what the stock had did before, and boom, we surely are. Surely a home run coming in from $7 and $8. Go back and check my show. We were long on TNDM at 7, 8, 9, and 10. Home run through the roof. That is not up for discussion. That is not up for discussion. You ain't getting that from Kramer. You are not going to get that from Kramer. Boom. Trend following at its best, and I learned that from Livermore, LMT, Covell, people like that, Larry Height, Stanley Druckenmiller, George Soros, those home run hitters. You guys know who they are. Beautiful stuff there, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. This chart kind of looks a little cray-cray, but we got long over this thing at 16. You guys know. Hold up. Wait, give me a second. Hold up, man. Hold up. Let me chart it. There we go. Clean this up. Clean it up, man. You guys know we got long over this thing around 16 and some change. 16 getting over this level here. We were a little bit late to the party, but pardon me. I knew we were going to correct back from this point here. You guys know my trading strategy. I start watching for curls. I look at old price levels, and boom, I kind of figured we would get back to this old level, and it was right here. Now we're at the tickety top of this thing right here, and I figure we're going to get through 25, give it some time, but I'm long from 16, almost 10 points. Huge home run in AQUA, and I'm still have almost my full position long in AQUA, letting that thing work. Another huge winner in my account. All right, so let's get into shop. we'll get into some other stuff. I just wanted to show you guys something on Shop. If you guys ever see a chart like this, don't ever bet against it. This is going to look like Tesla charts. These are going to look like some of the best charts on the market. When you see these kind of charts, luckily you're lucky enough to see them, but when you do see them, you need to get long in these kind of raging bulls. Remember, I told you guys last week, don't be the bull dancing guy at the Spanish Toro parade and you're dancing in front of the bull with the freaking red tarp around your waist and you're going to get hit by this thing. What, are you kidding me? Congrats to anybody that just, man, if I was trading the way I'm trading now, back in 2017, 2018, I would have took a long on this thing. I would have definitely. That's not up for discussion. So Shop just doing his magic. I got calls in that thing, seeing how far it's gonna. Of course, it's gonna keep going. So that's not up for discussion. That's you can bet 10 to 1 that Shop's gonna continue unless some. Even if it did correct itself, it's still top over that. So we're obviously in a very bullish market in Shop, and I don't know what else to tell you guys. Just beast mode there. Let's tighten up this chart, bring it back a little bit, bring it back. I just like to see the full view of why I'm taking these longs, and you guys know I pan out on my vision to see what we're doing, but I'm going to tighten this chart up just a little bit. IMGN coming in here, curling, boom, top. I mean, beautiful stuff, clear uptrend. I mean, there's no hocus pocus here. You could have took this thing when it started clearing levels over this, and you were supposed to get long when you were in this area here. IMGN looking good. I'll see what's happening with that thing. As I have depleted some positions, I will be looking to open up new ones. I had to cut some profits out of APPS, had to cut some profits out of KPTI, had to cut some profits out, I think, out of maybe 1 or 2 other positions, but my main core positions, ENPH, SPCE, AQUA, TNDM, those ones are just working their ass off. BE. All right, APTO beast mode. We kind of missed the whole run here. That's all right. We're a little bit late, but I like that thing for what it's doing now. Watch that thing coming up this week. You can take a long in it now. Stop yourself out below 750 APTO. Let's take a look at AQN. This thing looked really, really good when I was doing my scans. A lot of stuff out there just looking quite extraordinary. I mean, really looking really good. Man, I mean, look at this. I mean, where were you at when this thing was, climbing like this? I mean, all right, beautiful stuff here. I like this thing for continuation. AQN, power and utilities out of that power thing. All right, AQN looking really good. I like to take a long on that thing now, even though we're kind of late, but take a long on that thing now, and let's just see what happens. AQN. BILI, you guys remember this thing? If anyone was watching my show back then, we were still trading with BILI, and you guys know of a million times from watching the show, a good uptrend is a good uptrend for a reason. Don't be surprised if you turn around a year from now and that uptrend is still quite bullish and making you want to smack yourself from even getting rid of the position that you probably had and you got rid of. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you were long here and you had to take profits, maybe it did fall off your scans a little bit, but you guys got to keep an eye when those things start coming back, breaking over these levels. Remember, a clear uptrend isn't a clear uptrend for a reason. All right, BLDP. And we're just trading this process, man, buying the strongest stocks we can buy, buying the cleanest charts we can buy, taking the best price action we can get, never minding the noise, and just letting these stocks just lead our way. All we do is just let the leaders just lead our way. And we don't, there's no hocus pocus in that. All right. Remember, I just told you guys, I was long APTO, KPTI. Those stocks got a little weak. They started collapsing on themselves, going backwards, not keeping up with the momentum as they should be. And what did we do? We just depleted, took some profits in those positions, freed up some cash, and took on some different uptrends. And maybe we added more into other winners that were leading our way in our accounts. We just added more weight to those. I mean, it's very simple. It's very simple. You let the leaders win the way, and when the leaders start getting weak, you swap them out. I mean, you got to put in a sub, whatever the case may be, So that's just how we do it. You let the losers fall away, let them deplete themselves, replace them for winners, add weight to the winners, keep the winners going, keep your scans going, making sure you're understanding where the winners are at. That's what we're doing right now. We're understanding where the winners are at, where the movement is at. All right. And we're going to be taking longs way before the rest of the crowd gets them way too long. We're taking entries when we should be. CDNA curling here from the bottom. This thing in the past has been halfway decent, so we'll see what happens with CDNA. I think it's halfway decent. Okay, Let's take up something from CGEN. I did have CALX on the screens as well. I think CGEN looked the better out of the two. And we'll take a look at DAO. DAO was on the last show. DAO was on the last show that we had on with Trend Following Tyson on my show, when we were looking at where we should and shouldn't be putting our money and sitting our behinds at, letting these trends work. CGEN, it makes no sense if you look at a chart and it went from 0 to 100 and you were there the whole time twiddling your thumbs. If you're a good trend follower, you would have took it long 20, 30 and sat inside of it while it ran to 100. All right. And then I'd rather be wondering about how I'm going to take profits out of a position, and which is probably wait for it to pull back through major support levels, than just as not been in a chart and just let it run crazy. And I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs all year long. CGEN up at the top. I like what's happening there. Market cap to match it. Everything quite bullish inside of CGEN. Decent stuff going on there. Remember, I told you guys we're going to look at DAO. It was on the last show. Okay, that's on you if you didn't see it. I don't know, maybe you were twiddling your thumbs and you weren't watching where prices were going and where maybe you should have been going. So the last show was definitely sometime around at least the 10th of February, before the 10th of February. That was probably before markets opened. The show, DAO was in there for what it was looking like, and I thought it was getting ready to break out of this position. And what did I say about breakout levels? Ridiculous what happened with DAO after we aired it right here. And this ain't over. We have this little support line coming in here. I like what's happening with DAO. I mean, it's getting parabolic, but this was on the show before this happened. See this huge bar? Before this happened, we were looking at a breakout in DAO. So don't give me nada. Go look at the last shows and you tell me. You make the decision. All right. Flowers. God, I hate when I see stocks coming back on the show and back on and back on. All right, let's take a look at Flowers. 1-800-Flowers. This thing was on here last year. If it's not over 20, I don't know why I have it on here, because it was on the show about 6-7 months ago, and I just let prices show me where we're going. So we were in a clear up trend and Flowers, and here we are starting to look decent again. This thing takes a while to move. Don't get me wrong. A good uptrend is a good uptrend, but I don't want to be in a stock all year and we go from 25 to 30, okay, when I could have been having other positions working better, so to speak. FLSY, let's take a look at this and then we'll move forward. I don't know, we'll take a look at GDOT, GSX, and Redfin, TWO. We still got a lot of stuff that we could be looking at. I might not get to look at all of them, but we'll take a look at GDOT. NUAN was on the show not too long ago. This thing right here, FSLY, looking half decent, curling up, prices curling obviously, and we kind of pulled back. Clear up trend for a reason. I like this thing long now. Stop yourself out below 22, maybe in front of 20, on top of 20. But we should definitely be holding up those prices. If we don't close below 20 and prices continue to move, you have nothing to do with your position besides let it work. That's it. If you take this entry on FSLY and prices don't collapse below $20, then you have nothing to do with this position besides letting it work. If you're not doing good trend following. You're not trend following. All right. If you're not letting these positions take their course, they need to run. They need to fulfill. You need to let these charts get to where they're going. If we're going to sit in something from 10 to 20, from 10 to 50, all right, whatever the case may be. Another one looking kind of decent, holding up this structure, rounding J-Lo section, booty thing going on. Beautiful stuff. Obviously, we're going to probably break out of this level here. Just so much energy, so much momentum, obviously coming into here. It's enough to get us through this level. So FVRR, keep that on your scans coming up. That can be another really good long you guys are taking to get your party started. And just always think about home runs like ENPH, TNDM. I mean, just countless that we hit here. Okay, so just keep your eyes open for the home runs, space, AQUA, whatever the case may be. Take these signals, guys. All right, GDOT looking really better, kind of looking better than most of the stocks we looked at tonight. I like the curling here, J-Lo stuff, knocking over these prices to the left. We're obviously bullish. The 20 and the 200 getting ready to cross. Love making stuff going on in GDOT. Okay, take a long on that thing now before prices rally without you. All right, I love that, how that's looking. That will be on my scans. personally, that will be on my scans. Let's take a look at NUAN, which was on the show about last show or the show before, and here it is still popping up on scans. And obviously we're looking at good uptrends inside of our scans, whether it's last month, the year before, the week before. If we're looking at clear uptrends, remember I told you a good uptrend is a good uptrend for a reason. I like NUAN for continuation. Let's look at TWO, and we'll get ready to close out this February analysis. Thank you guys very much. Do not miss the big move. That's the quote I was looking for from Jesse Livermore. It said, "You're better off if you're going to be in a bull's market. You can't be getting in and out of positions. You need to just sit inside that huge uptrend and just let it work." That's from the greatest, not from me. And that's, you guys wonder how I'm trading like this. I listen to my teachers, and I listen to them very well, and we get this thing going, sitting in these huge moves. I'm buying stocks at 20, selling them at 100. That's no hocus pocus. Even taking option calls in them too, from the best in this business. If you look at some of the best traders in the world that have ever made any money out of this, they're trend followers. John Henry, Livermore, the list goes on. Druck, let's go. All right. So TWO, don't let this get off your scans. Don't look at this thing when it's at 70 and say you were twiddling your thumbs. TWO in beast mode. I'll see you guys back here in March.